Rain was part of a group of adventurers along with Arios, Gat, Eliane, and Mina. One day, out of the blue, his companions told him they were kicking him out of the group because they thought he was a useless weakling in combat. Rain couldn't believe what he was hearing. He had always busted his ass trying to help the group with his beast-taming skills and thought they trusted him. Totally devastated, he returned his equipment and left while his ex-colleagues laughed at him. Wandering alone through the city, he bitterly remembered how they had underrated and underestimated him. Now, penniless and without belongings, he would have to start over from scratch. While sitting there feeling sorry for himself, some kids approached him and asked him to show them his animal taming skills. Rain tamed a hawk and the kids were amazed. They said that when they grew up, they wanted to be like him. A light bulb went off for Rain. He would become an independent adventurer. He went to the guild, where Natalie, the hot receptionist, explained that adventurers were ranked from S to F according to their skills. He asked her to tell him how the entrance exam worked since he hadn't socialized much with other adventurers when he was with those loser ex-colleagues of his. Rain says he's a beast tamer. The receptionist looks at him skeptically and doubts whether he should go alone since tamers aren't tough in combat. Still, Rain leaves determined. His mission, kill 10 pathetic goblins and gather 20 herbs. With the help of a squirrel buddy and his crappy dagger, he succeeds and obtains the lame-ass rank F. But just as he's leaving, he hears a scream for help. He runs over there and sees a tiger freaking out a girl. Rain tries to save the girl from a tiger, but his dagger breaks. Just when all seems lost, the girl with cat ears and a tail knocks out the tiger. Rain realizes she is a rare cat spirit. She is exhausted and hungry, so he feeds her. She introduces herself as Candace. She left her home out of boredom looking for adventure. Candace's race possesses superhuman physical abilities, but no magic. They chat about their lives. Rain tells her he was kicked out of a hero group, to which Candace responds they treated him unfairly. Although Rain feels he is a dead weight. Upon learning he is a beast tamer, Candace asks him to try his power on her. Without hesitating, Rain does a ritual and a magic circle appears on his hand. They have made a pact. Back at the guild, Rain shows proof of his mission and obtains rank F, a badge, and coins. As Candace greets him, someone interrupts them, annoyed at seeing a cat spirit with someone weak like Rain. Candace defends her friend. The man challenges Rain to an arm wrestle and bets Candace. Rain wins so hard he breaks the table to his own surprise. Candace tells him the pact made him stronger. They decide to do an easy job, gathering herbs. Candace wanted something more exciting, but Rain's rank limited the options. She is amazed at seeing Rain use rabbits to gather herbs. Suddenly, they hear a scream and become alert. Candace and Rain approach and see the Dark Fangs, a super scary guild of way too many member thieves, surrounding a helpless old man. Although Candace thinks they shouldn't mess with these nasty dudes alone, Rain decides to jump in. In the blink of an eye, he easily defeats most of them with totally insane strength. After the fight, Rain reveals he learned martial arts as a kid so he wouldn't accidentally destroy the cute animals he tamed. The old dude thanks them for saving his booty, but warns about the angry guild seeking revenge. Rain responds that if the Dark Fangs are so dang dangerous, they should be stopped to protect the innocent city folks. Candace thinks there are too many baddies, but Rain has a cunning plan. With help from a rad squirrel pal, they locate the bandits' secret lair. Rain shares his genius idea to use wasps with paralyzing venom. Candace doesn't think it's possible since bugs aren't beasties, but taming insects is a special tamer perk. He's no expert, but figures he can wing it. He asks Candace to get guards from the city while he and the wasps bring the pain to the lair. Meanwhile, we see Mina and Mage Eliane with some random boy. They were supposed to protect the old guy, but the bandits caught them slipping. Eliane is super annoyed because this boy was useless against the bandits while she was trying to cast spells. She comments that even Rain, who they see as a total wimp, would have fought better. Meanwhile, Rain enters the bandits' crib, and after releasing the angry wasps, all the bandits fall paralyzed to the ground, crying for their mamas. Candace returns with lots of guards who help capture the losers. Suddenly, from some cages, nasty monster lizards called royal lizards, rank C monsters the bandits kept, start attacking everyone like savage beasts. Then Rain starts facing them and knocks one out cold in one blow, and Candace does the same with her crazy cat strength. Rain says to take the criminals outside and leave the scaly dudes to him and Candace. Together, they easily defeat all the lizards. After capturing the Dark Fangs, everyone celebrates at the inn. Due to a shortage of rooms, Rain and Candace have to share one, sleeping in separate beds. The capture was a significant achievement. leading to Rain's promotion to rank E and a handsome reward. He indulges himself with fine food and lodging from the money he earns. Candace, who's used to people taking advantage of her powers, now feels thankful to have him by her side. He sees her as a regular girl and wishes to protect her. Come dawn, they continue their life of adventures, taking on simple tasks. But one day, the guild offers a unique challenge: to face the Bridge Guardian, a rogue who challenges any traveler trying to cross the bridge. While it's never killed anyone, its presence frightens all. Rain accepts the challenge. However, upon reaching the bridge, a surprise awaits them. From the sky descends a majestic red dragon that transforms into a beautiful red-haired girl named Tanya. She reveals herself as the Guardian and belongs to the noble race of dragons. Her mission is to seek strong fighters to train and then kick their butts, following an ancient tradition. At first they were like, do we mess with that beast or what? But in the end, they mustered the courage and jumped into the fray. The dragoness, without wasting a second, tried to land a solid blow on Rain. Though he managed to block it, he was forced to slide back due to the sheer force. Realizing this wasn't going to be a walk in the park, the dragoness fired up her flamethrower mode and singed Candace's tail. Candace, adrenaline pumping, lunged at the dragoness. Rain, thinking he could be sneaky, planned to strike from behind, but the dragoness caught him in midair, tossing them both into the sky. Just then, she readied herself to unleash a massive burst of flames. However, the two managed to dodge in the nick of time. Rain, sensing a change of tactics was needed, asked Candace to buy him a few minutes. As Candace and the dragoness were locked in their duel, Rain returned with a flock of birds. He released them onto the dragoness, who, while unharmed, became disoriented. The catch was that the birds carried venom. The dragoness, utterly baffled, became immobilized. Rain asks her to be his partner, hoping she'll have faith in him instead of rejecting his scaly dragon booty. When they get back to the guild, Natalie asks about Rain's new gal pal with horns and a tail, but he dodges the question like a politician avoiding taxes, not wanting to reveal her true dragon identity. Even though he offers her freedom if she skips town, she decides to join because she has the hots for Rain and his charm. Candace is totes jealous, but agrees to let Tanya join their crew. Tanya wants to forge a magical pact with Rain, just like he did with Candace, and he agrees. Rain's old team is bummed after a lame week in the Forbidden Forest, and thinks about begging for him to come back. At the inn, the girls argue over who gets to sleep next to Rain, who's already dreaming. With Tanya aboard, they take on easy-peasy missions like slaying slimes. Rain explains slimes, but Candace hates fighting the little gooballs. Meanwhile, Tanya brags about torching them with her fire breath. They search, but can't find the swarm. Rain whips up a spell, possesses a bird, and scouts from the sky. The girls are shocked when he talks through the bird, and he reminds them it's just his cool animal mind control tricks. They are amazed by Rain's skills, even though he sees them as common among tamers. Rain, transformed into a bird, asks them to watch over his body. Later, they find a nest of slimes. Tanya questions him about his magic, and even though Rain only knows basic spells, when facing the slimes, he releases a powerful fireball. Tanya explains that his magic improved due to their pact, especially fire magic. As more slimes appear, Tanya urges Rain to practice. Intent on not disappointing his two allies, Rain strives to improve, with Tanya being his strict mentor. Back at the guild, while waiting for their mission reward, a girl approaches to talk to the ladies. Upon leaving, Rain is pleased that people believe Tanya is just in disguise, effectively hiding her dragon identity. At dinner, questions arise about the origin of Rain's taming skills. He shares that he grew up in a village full of tamers, with his parents being among them. He learned his craft there, but laments that his village no longer exists. Sharing a painful childhood memory, he recounts that at 12, after a training session, he returned to find his village in flames from a monstrous attack. He was the sole survivor, and adventurers took him to an inn where he had to work to survive. For years, Rain had a rough go of it, but then, about 6 months ago, he bumped into the hero's crew. Looking for buddies, he jumped at the chance to team up. He thought it might be a shot at turning things around and stopping what went down in his hometown, but Arios had other plans. He wanted to use Rain. Rain was super bummed about messing up, but Candace had his back, reminding him of all the times he'd come to her rescue and his gutsy moves to help folks out. Tanya chimed in too, talking up his cool traits and saying how much she loved having him call the shots. Their words perked Rain up, especially after the hero had been on his case, dissing him non-stop. The next day, Rain and his squad faced off with some E-rank orcs. Even though these baddies were sharper and had weapons, Rain's crew smoked them real fast. But then, one of the orcs snagged Tanya, letting another one have a go at her. Rain stepped in and got a nasty cut on his arm. He was okay after a bit, but Tanya was beating herself up about it. Back at their hangout, the guild, she was kinda in her own world, bummed about her slip-up. Rain found her and had a heart-to-heart. That night, Tanya thought about how Rain didn't get mad, and it hit her. She was totally falling for him. Fast forward, and as Rain and his buddies were on the move, they ran into the hero's posse who had ghosted them before. Rain wasn't keen on a meetup, but the hero started throwing shade. His crew was ready to jump in, but the hero's guys were floored, seeing Rain rolling with two majorly powerful races. They thought Rain was just some lackey, but Elian set them straight, saying Rain was top dog. The hero's crew was all, "What the?" and couldn't figure out why Rain would chill with those kinds of beings. Then, out of nowhere, the hero's like, "Hey, help us get through this wacko magical forest that keeps changing. Oh, and Rain, buddy, hook us up with some gear and lead the way." The hero argues that Rain should feel honored by the offer to rejoin them. But Rain flat out shuts down the idea of teaming up with his old bunch of losers again. His squad backs him up, and they're ready to split when the cleric steps in. She spills that inside the magical forest, there's a relic they need to beat the Demon King. If they don't nab that relic and take down the Demon King, monsters will trash the world, and innocent folks will bite the dust. Remembering the nightmare of his village, Rain agrees to give them a hand, not wanting another disaster like that going down. But before they dive into the mission deets, Rain's crew confronts the hero's posse. They lay it out that they're not thrilled about teaming up, but they're in because of how major this mission is. However, they demand a real deal apology for how they did Rain dirty before. Tanya even throws out that they should get on their knees in front of Rain as a sign they're legit sorry, and hints she might let her fire breath loose if they don't. The hero, with his ego bruised, ain't about to be made small in front of someone he sees as a nobody. He starts chucking nasty names at Rain's girls, calling them pets, and hinting at some nasty stuff. Fired up, Rain socks the hero and warns him he won't stand for any trash talk about his buddies, and that he's down to go toe-to-toe and kick his butt over and over until he gives them some respect. And then, all hell breaks loose. As Rain and the hero throw down, Candace squares up with the bald warrior from the opposing crew, and Tanya takes on the other girls. The brawl kicks off with a swift move, and Candace goes after the bald dude with a flurry, leaving him shook with her power and speed. Candace calls him a clown and a weakling, which ticks the bald guy off even more. He then whips out a deadly move in a last-ditch effort to win, but Candace just laughs and says she might only use half her strength on him. Gat, the baldy, nearly wets himself hearing that. He's all, "Why's someone this badass chilling with a nobody?" Candace, all swagger, fires back that Rain ain't no slouch and could wipe the floor with all of them combined. Then she smacks poor Gat so hard he's seeing stars, and in the process wrecks a tree. On the flip side, the showdown between Tanya, Elian, and Mina starts heating up. Elian whips out a gravity trick while Mina gets lit with some holy fire. But Tanya, cool as a cucumber, stops them with just a snap, laughing at their moves. They ain't giving up, thinking Tanya just got lucky, so they try again. But it's the same old story. After a while, Elian and Mina are huffing and puffing, but Tanya looks like she's just chilling at a Sunday picnic. She's all, "Don't care if you're the top-tier mages or got all the gods backing you up, because Rain, he's gonna own everyone someday." Saying that, she keeps laughing while brushing off their spells. Tanya, never the bully, tells them she ain't letting them off the hook after they dissed her bud Rain. Then she pulls out her ace move, a spell so fierce the sky turns blood red. Elian and Mina freak out so much they just drop. But surprise, Tanya was just messing with them. And now, the main event, Rain versus Arios. Arios starts with his usual yada yada, all "you'll regret this" and blah blah blah. But Rain, not letting him finish, throws a punch that, even though it doesn't land, shuts Arios up. He's like, "Enough with the chat." Arios gets ticked off, draws his sword, and nicks Rain on the cheek. It's game on. Arios swiftly thrusts with his sword due to his impressive swordsmanship, pushing Rain back. This shift in the attack pattern is masterfully executed by Arios. On the other hand, Rain believes that, although Arios should be a worthy opponent, he feels he is less powerful than Tanya. Rain doesn't feel the same desperation he felt when facing her. Unexpectedly, Rain grabs Arios' arm and delivers a strong punch to his abdomen. Arios is astounded by the incredible strength of a tamer. Although Arios tries to react, he can't match Rain's speed, narrowly dodging a punch that destroys a giant rock in its wake. Arios attempts a counterattack, but Rain dodges his blows with ease. Confused, Arios asks why he can't hurt him. Rain reveals that his alliance with Candace has enhanced his strength. He's also trained to study his adversaries and has been observing Arios fight for a long time. Therefore, he knows Arios' attack patterns and how to dodge them, and his punches carry the force of a feline spirit. After this explanation, making it clear that Arios would never win in a one-on-one duel, Arios resorts to magic and casts a powerful beam at Rain. In turn, Rain counters with a fireball. Both attacks collide, with Arios stunned that a novice can match his advanced magic. This is due to the pact Rain sealed with Tanya. Even at a disadvantage, Arios continues to cast spells. While he doesn't have as many as his opponent, he knows Rain can only use 2. Amidst the battle, Rain momentarily gets distracted, and Arios tries to seize the opportunity. However, he soon finds out that Rain had tamed a paralyzing wasp, the same species he'd used to defeat thieves before. The wasp stings Arios, making it clear that tamers should not be underestimated. Arios acknowledges his mistake, mentioning they once were allies and traveled together. He apologizes, but Rain, not holding back, lands a punch that leaves him unconscious on the ground, clarifying it wasn't lethal, but enough to knock him out. Pleased with his revenge, Rain's friends rush to congratulate him. Later, Rain's group finds themselves in the dark and gloomy Lost Forest, a place that feels depressing even during the day. Tanya suggests that maybe they should set the forest on fire. However, they soon realize that their primary goal is to delve deep into the forest to find a relic known as the Shield of Truth, which the Heroes group had mentioned. Upon checking Arios' map, they find that it won't be of much help since the forest grows and changes constantly. Now they feel the responsibility to find the relic. For after defeating Arios' group, they pleaded for mercy. Rain chooses to forgive them and agrees to their request to retrieve the shield, which is guarded by monsters. The shield must be handed over to the hero, for only he has the capability to use it to save the fate of the world. However, the girls in the group have their reservations about helping the hero, finding him contemptible. Even so, they want to support Rain, who, steadfast in his beliefs, wishes to aid the hero to ensure a prosperous world where people don't suffer. Motivated by this mission, the group ventures into the forest in search of the shield. After wandering aimlessly for a while, Rain casts a spell that transfers his soul into a bird, allowing him to have an aerial view while the girls watch over his lifeless body. Flying high, Rain realizes the vastness of the forest, but manages to spot a trail. Returning to his body, he informs the group, and they follow the path, led by Candace. However, after walking for a considerable time, they realize they've been going in circles when they recognize a rock they had marked at the beginning of their journey. They wonder if they might have gotten disoriented, but they suspect the forest might have some magical trick up its sleeve. Tanya conjures a spell called Material Search, illuminating their path with pink lights. Following this trail, they arrive at a magical tree that seems to produce a mirage. This tree creates a magical field that manipulates perceptions, causing everyone to walk in circles as if trapped within a barrier. Tanya suggests that Candace destroy the tree to move forward. Rain, on the other hand, consults Tanya about the possibility of breaking the magical barrier without harming the tree. However, Tanya points out that the magic is so potent that it would take a long time to neutralize it. Candace decides to take the initiative so as not to delay and to avoid the hero's mockery towards the protagonist, Rain. However, just before she can strike her blow, they hear voices repeatedly urging them to retreat. Suddenly, a fairy emerges from the tree, a mystical creature of the same lineage as Candace and Tanya. It's said that fairies possess magical power superior even to that of dragons. Though none had been sighted in over 2 centuries, legends tell that they dwelled in mountains and deep forests. Fairies and humans had a history of confrontations, leading the former to seclude themselves in places inaccessible to the latter, thereby developing a deep resentment towards humanity. When Rain tries to establish a dialogue, the fairies are uncompromising, repeating their warning to leave the place. Faced with the group's persistence, the fairies threaten to expel them using their magic, forcing our protagonist to retreat deeper into the forest. Once away, the group tries to understand the aggression. They had always heard that fairies were kind creatures. Rain, however, explains the ancient enmity between fairies and humans and suggests that perhaps a fairy's appearance before him, being human, was unusual. Reflecting on whether the fairies might be allied with the monsters due to their hatred towards humans, the group contemplates how to overcome the magical barrier protecting the tree. Tanya proposes using her magic to temporarily contain the trees, allowing Candace to destroy it. but Rain insists on trying a peaceful approach. With some reluctance, the girls agree and return to the tree. Rain, stepping forward, tries to negotiate, asking the fairy to engage in dialogue and suggesting that if it must attack, it should attack only him, protecting his companions. The fairy, however, responds with a barrage of magical arrows. The girls are ready to intervene, but Rain stops them, trusting in his ability to withstand the attack. As a beast tamer, he's faced similar situations where, by conveying sincerity, he's managed to connect with hostile creatures. The fairy releases an illusory arrow, but Rain stands firm. Seeing his immobility, the confused fairy questions his actions. Rain calmly assures her he only wants to talk.